Hi friends, I'm glad to welcome you all to Dr. Cell for UG Learners Exam View. Now let's see the layers of the scalp. The layers of the scalp has a mnemonic. What is the mnemonic? The scalp name itself is a mnemonic. The picture gives the each layer. Let me abbreviate each of it. S for skin, C for subcutaneous connective tissue, A for aponeurosis, and L for loose areolar tissue, P for pericranium. Now let's see each detail layers. Now first layer we are gonna see here is skin. The picture depicts itself the skin is very thick and it has hairy component in it. Now it is very adherent to epicranial aponeurosis through superficial fascia as in palms and soles. It has more sebaceous gland in it. Next layer we'll be seeing here is subcutaneous connective tissue, also known as superficial fascia. It has more vessels in it and hence it is highly vascular component. Okay, next layer we are gonna see here is epicranial aponeurosis. Gallia aponeurotica with occipitofrontalis muscle. It has totally two bellies. You can see that in picture very clearly, frontal belly and the occipital belly. Frontal belly is wide and united at the median angle and it arises from the skin of forehead mingling with orbicularis oculi and corrugator supercilii. It is supplied by temporal branch of facial nerve. Next, let's see about occipital belly, which is small and separate. It is supplied by posterior auricular branch of facial nerve. It arises from the superior nuchal line. Okay. Now let's see about epicranial aponeurosis. Epicranial aponeurosis is freely movable over the pericranium. It receives anteriorly insertion from frontalis muscle and posteriorly from the occipitalis muscle. Where it is attached? It is attached to external occipital protuberance and highest nuchal line between the occipital bellies. Okay, now let's see where it is attached on each side. On the zygomatic arch over the superior temporal line. See the picture very clearly so you can write very clearly if you remember the picture. Picture are most useful to write or remember. Let's see about the surgical layer of the scalp. The first three layers, skin, superficial fascia, epicranial aponeurosis, is called surgical layer of the scalp. It is firmly adherent to each other. Now let's see about loose areolar tissue, which is the fourth layer of the scalp. Okay, it extends anteriorly. It extends anteriorly into eyelids and has frontal muscles, okay, which has no bony attachment. Make use of pictures. See the picture clearly. Next, let's see posteriorly. It extends up to highest and superior nuchal line, which is given clearly in the picture. Next, on each side, it extends up to superior temporal line. This layer has something so important. This layer is called dangerous area of the scalp. Why? Because it has a emissary vein in it. This emissary vein which connects the extracranial to the intracranial venous plexus sinuses. Okay. Any blow to the head, what happens? Pus collects easily in this layer and the infection spreads from the extracranial to the intracranial layer, which may lead to thrombosis, which causes death, and hence it is called the dangerous area of the scalp. Now let's see about fifth layer, the pericranium. Pericranium, you can see clearly that in the picture it is loosely attached to the bone and firmly adherent to the suture. It binds pericranium to the endocranium. See the picture, upper it is Gallia aponeurotica, below pericranium. Let's see the arteries that are supplying the scalp. Totally 5 arteries on each side. 3 front of the auricle and 2 behind the auricle. Okay, front of the auricle, what are the arteries? Let's see. 3 arteries, that is supratrochlear artery and supraorbital artery. These two are supplied by branch of ophthalmic artery, which is in turn branch of internal carotid artery. Whereas superficial temporal artery, which is in the front of auricle, which is a branch of external carotid artery. Behind the auricle, there are 2, that is posterior auricular artery and occipital artery, which is a branch of external carotid artery. These both internal and external carotid artery anastomosis at the temple. The picture is depicted very clearly. Now let's see the venous drainage of the scalp. Usually the veins accompanies the artery and has a similar name. Okay, the picture is depicted very clearly, make use of it. Now the supratrochlear, see the picture, supratrochlear and supraorbital vein that unites at the median angle of the eye and became what? It becomes as the angular vein and continues down as the common facial vein. The next we can see about the superficial temporal vein. The superficial temporal vein descends where in front of the tragus. It enters into the parotid glands and joins with the maxillary vein to form the retromandibular vein. Now the retromandibular vein is divided into two divisions, anterior division and posterior division. According anterior division is unites with the facial vein, okay, and forms common facial vein and drains into internal jugular vein, whereas posterior division unites with posterior auricular vein who forms the external jugular vein and drains into the subclavian vein. Next, let's see about the emissary vein, like two parietal emissary vein and mastoid emissary vein. This parietal emissary vein enters into the parotid foramen, which enters into superior sagittal sinus. Okay, next, this mastoid emissary vein passes through the mastoid foramen to reach the sigmoid sinus. Now, fourth diploic vein we are going to see, that is frontal diploic vein. Okay, that opens into supraorbital vein, whereas anterior temporal diploic vein ends into the sphenoparietal sinus. Posterior diploic vein ends into the transverse sinus. Occipital diploic vein opens into the transverse sinus. This picture depicts the vein supplying the scalp and the face. Okay, so make use of it, and I have given very short note and learn it. Let's see about the lymphatic drainage. The lymphatic drainage has two parts, anterior part and posterior part. See the picture. In anterior part, it drains into preauricular or parotid lymph nodes. Okay. In the posterior part, whereas it drains into posterior auricular or mastoid or occipital lymph nodes. Let's see about the nerve supply of the scalp. We have 10 on each side. Okay, 10 nerves supplying the scalp on each side. 5 front of the auricle and 5 behind the auricle, in which 4 are sensory nerves and 1 motor nerve. Now let's see each of them in very detailed point. First, let's see front of the auricle. Front of the auricle, you have 4 sensory, 1 motor. The 4 sensory first one is supratrochlear nerve and supraorbital nerve. These both are branch of ophthalmic division of trigeminal nerve, whereas the zygomaticotemporal is a branch of maxillary division of trigeminal nerve and auriculotemporal is a mandibular division of a trigeminal nerve. One motor is temporal branch of the facial nerve. Now let's see behind the auricle. Behind the auricle you have sensory greater auricular nerve, C2, C3 branch of cervical plexus it is. Next you have lesser occipital nerve, it is C2 branch of cervical plexus. Then greater occipital nerve, which is C2 dorsal rami, and third occipital nerve, which is dorsal rami of the C3. One motor, which is posterior auricular branch of facial nerve. Picture is depicted very clearly. Have remembrance of picture. Now let's see some important applied anatomy of the scalp. Okay, first let's see about sebaceous cyst. Where are sebaceous gland common? In the skin. So you can see sebaceous cyst over there. It can be bilateral. Now let's see about cephalohematoma. The collection of the fluid deep to the pericranium. This usually takes the shape of the bone. Now let's see caput succedaneum, the temporary edematous swelling which is in the newborn due to the interference of the venous triton. Dangerous area of the scalp which is seen in the loose areolar tissue can also be given here. Now let's see the summary of the scalp. Okay, the summary of the scalp: S for skin, A for C for subcutaneous connective tissue, A for aponeurosis, L for loose areolar tissue, P for pericranium, which can be given, and these are the important questions usually asked in exam. Make use of it, it will be very useful. I even have handwritten notes with a suitable diagrams. In case you people need it, you might ping me in my Instagram. My Instagram link is provided below. Okay, notes and presentations are even made on request. If you want the specific topic notes or you want the specific topics to be made like this presentation, you can ping me in my Instagram, which is given below. Thank you so much people for listening so patiently, and I will be very happy if some of you had made useful from this kind of presentation. So thank you for listening it patiently. then kindly don't forget to like, share, comment or subscribe my channel without fail. Okay, if you want any other topic, you can also ping me in my Instagram. The link is given below. Don't forget, it's always Dr. Sel who is ready to help you for any type of questions or topic. Thank you so much. Bye. See you soon in another interesting topic. Bye.